Welcome back to the DTC Slingshot Podcast. I'm your host, Lockie Thompson, and I'm also the founder of Social Slingshot, a paid advertising agency. This podcast is your go-to resource for entrepreneurs seeking insights from industry leaders and experts. If you have magically stumbled across this podcast, then I'm truly grateful that you've chosen to listen. If you have any specific questions or topics you'd like us to cover, then don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram at Lockie Social Slingshot. While this podcast is tailored to the broader e-commerce community, if you are ever in need of direct marketing assistance, then Social Slingshot is here to help. Our mission is to drive as much success for as many e-commerce brands as possible by being the most results-driven and client-focused agency on the market. Now, with all that boring admin stuff taken care of, let's jump into today's episode. G'day everyone, welcome back to the DTC Slingshot Podcast. Today I'm joined with Jaya, the founder of A Man and His Cave. Do you want to give everybody a quick introduction to who you are and what you do?
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for welcoming me on, Lockie. My name is Jaya Yoannidis. I'm the managing director here at A Man and His Cave. A Man and His Cave, we're an online e-commerce store. We've been going for 4 years now. We sell everything in the man cave niche. So you can imagine bar fridges, dartboards, arcade machines, pool tables, kegerators, and yeah, pretty much anything else that you could think in the man cave niche. Pretty high ticket, large boxy items. And yeah, we've just been enjoying the grind, building our customer base, improving our man cave community month on month, and yeah, just growing year on year.
Yeah, you've got some absolutely fantastic content, and it's so different to any other e-commerce brand that I've seen. Like, the content is just amazing. The community that you are building looks to be incredible. And I know you're going on a bit of a journey, or have you already been on that journey where you're traveling around to visit all the wonderful man caves around Australia?
Yeah, so we've actually been on the journey. We've got a heap of footage that we can't wait to release in the very near future. Just sort of been on the back burner a little bit. We've actually relocated from our head office in Alexandria to St. Peter's, just down the road. But that's actually taking quite a lot of our time and energy. We've been kitting it out here with man cave vibe. We've got sort of that barn and shed style feature wall going on the far side and the back side. We've also got a bit of a pallet feature wall in the middle that's going to have a bar and obviously the arcade machines and the bar fridge attached to it. So heap of work there. We've got 2 new boys on as well. So we're just waiting to get those videos out, but they'll be out in the near future, and hopefully our man cave community can vote, because that was the goal, to have a vote out of the best on the tour, and the winner will be getting a kegerator. So if you're not in the Man Caves Australia group on Facebook, definitely jump on that and check out the winner soon.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see that content. Like, I've just been scrolling through your socials, and I just keep seeing these amazing man caves. So I can't wait to see who becomes the winner. And everybody, like, I've showed my my mates like your page a couple of times, and everyone's just like instant follow. So the content is super high quality. How did you come across like the man cave? Like, did you build your own, and then somebody asked, like a mate asked you to do it for them, or like how did you get into this space?
So actually, I was studying architecture at university, and I've always loved designing and spaces and stuff. And I guess something that I'd always really liked within the architecture side of things was the entertainment rooms. Sort of fell out of love with architecture, wondering what to do, and I was studying, e-commerce at the time, how to make money online. And at that same time, it just happened to be that COVID came around, and we had to build a man cave to be able to communicate or hang out with our friends, because we're all in different spaces and meant to be in like different LGAs and stuff. So we were building this man cave, and while we were in there, it just came up in conversation, what would we build? Should we, had all the money in the world, or whatever we wanted to be able to put in here? And people were rattling off all different types of stuff: bar fridge, a pool table, arcade machine, and somebody mentioned a kegerator, which I hadn't actually heard before. And I thought that was a really cool concept, especially for someone who'd pretty much been drinking beers every weekend to not have heard of that. I thought, wow, I think that a lot more people in the world would feel like me, feel like that's pretty cool, pretty untapped market. So yeah, I was starting my e-commerce journey. I found out the concept of all these things being pretty appealing to someone like myself, and I started congregating suppliers to be able to offer that online. And yeah, that was pretty much how Man of Cave was born.
Yeah, cool. So when you first started, like, did you start out drop shipping, or did you get specific arcade machines made up yourself? Or tell me a little bit more about that journey.
Yeah, for sure. So we started drop shipping, or I started drop shipping at the very beginning. It was something that you had to drop ship. You couldn't really hold stock in the beginning. There's no guaranteed demand. Obviously, everything's very expensive. What we sell, it's around $1,500 would be like the average product, I guess, on our website. So not something that I was affording at 21. Pretty much working where I could at the airport, and then also at uni as well. So yeah, definitely started off drop shipping, and then over the more recent years, we've started bringing in our own product lines. Once we've guaranteed the demand and been able to negotiate better terms with suppliers and banks as well. Now that they've got proven track record over the last couple of years about business running.
Yeah, for sure. And everybody in the online space, I think everybody starts out dropshipping. I started out dropshipping, learned a lot, made zero money, probably lost a few thousand. So I'm pretty sure everybody starts there, but you've taken it to the next level. Do you just want to tell me about some of those struggles going through the growth stages that you've gone through?
Yeah, 100%. So when I was initially starting, I started in May of 2020. It just, like I said, happened to be that we were building this man cave and COVID had hit. You couldn't have really picked a better niche, or I couldn't have really picked a better niche during that time period. Everyone's stuck at home. They're wanting stuff for their house. They can't spend money on going on holidays, going out. All of their money is just sort of, kept in pocket. And the government's handing people out, tons of cash as well. So people who didn't have money before perhaps now have money. So a lot of disposable cash flying around to be able to buy our products. So it was perfect product market fit and very perfect timing as well. That grew very, very quickly. So I think by month 4, we're already doing 100K months. And that was obviously really exciting. It was just me and a friend of mine at that point. And, every single month on month it was growing. I think the month after that is about 180K. The month after that was 250K. And I just had in my mind, perfect, I'm rich. This is going to be me on this steep curve from here on out. But what actually happened was we got to January, we got to February, and everything had halved. I think that a lot of people had looked at their spending habits and sort of went, job saver or job keeper, whatever it was at the time, is being cut off for certain people, and it was being cut off from more and more people. People weren't having that cash that they were just sort of gifted, and people were in more of a serious economic turmoil, and that just completely affected the buying habits of people who were shopping with us. And I learned very quickly that I shouldn't bring on a marketing agency, mentoring agency, new office, all of these things all at once, just because I thought growth. And, we were pretty much losing about $20,000 a month at one point because I just had not equated for the shift in sales. And I'd never done it before. It was my first lap around the sun. Just kind of learned the hard way, got all the money that we did have together, at that time, and spread it as thinly as we could, cut ties with the people who were sort of, costing us more than were making us. And that was the marketing agencies we were working with at the time. And yeah, we just nutted it out and got through those times, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think your content is very relatable, very shareable as well. Men would just absolutely flex their man caves. I don't have one. I've got a shed with a TV in it, and I still flex that to my mate because he doesn't have a shed with a TV in it. So
I don't have one either. You're flexing on me.
So yeah, it's very shareable. So I think, do you want to talk about a bit more about your organic growth versus your paid media growth, and just sort of the differences in those two as well, and how you've sort of managed that over the years?
Yeah, absolutely. A massive thing that we're pushing is our Facebook groups. I think Facebook groups are really valuable. Whenever you go on Facebook, if you're confident that not confident, but whenever you're on Facebook and you're joining groups, I'm sure that if you've got a particular niche that you're very into, for example, you might be into e-commerce as much as I am. I know that I'm in a bunch of e-commerce and media buying groups. Facebook will really push groups on your feed, and you'll notice when you go on there. I'm also in a low and slow barbecue thing. I don't go on there too much, but I'm in it. And every now and then the Facebook algorithm will push that into my feed, because they know that if you're in a group, that's your people, like that's your interest. And if they put that in front of you, there's more chance of you staying on the platform, which is their, ultimate goal. So building up a group on Facebook, in my opinion, is very important. And that's why, as much as I do love the group, it's also a business decision to grow that, because I know that when people are in that group, they're going to be seeing so much more of our content. And it's just a real flywheel of content, because we've got people, in the group who are sharing their man caves, customers who are sharing their purchases from us, occasionally sharing a sales, proposition in there, people, just, customer success stories in there. And it's just been really great, because that's how the Man Cave Tour came to life. We had 28,000 people in there, all sharing content, and we got to handpick the best 8 for us to go and, go down the eastern coastline to go and visit. So just that alone has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's absolutely sick. And how many days did you have to wait after visiting some of those man caves? You get stuck into the beers and have to wait a couple of days before you got back on the road?
We were pretty much back on the road straight away. One of the boys, fortunately, is actually training for a bodybuilding competition. So he was on the chicken, rice, and broccoli. No beers for him. So we pretty much had a designated driver the whole time.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm sure you had his fair share as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I've definitely noticed that with groups, even like other groups, like you got like blokes and their lawns and stuff like that. That just like satisfying content, and they absolutely blow up. And then you also have the blokes going in there. Oh, you shouldn't cut it like this, or you shouldn't cut it.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
that's what you want.
You want the kegerator in that corner. You should have put it up on the wall or whatever. So how do you deal with that, like negative comments or just blokes like attacking you, like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that? Because I'm sure it happens a lot.
To be completely honest, in that particular group, I can't believe how positive it is. So, like, a bloke will put up, arguably, to the average person, especially after seeing some of the other man caves, quite an average man cave. And as opposed to everyone being like, mate, that's shit, everyone will say, oh, mate, like, it's not about what you have, it's about how much you appreciate it. And everyone's very, very warm and, like, supportive in the group. Another thing that I see quite a lot is advice. So like people will say, hey guys, I'm just putting up this shed. I want to do timber cladding walls. What do you guys suggest? And you'll get 50 comments of different things. People going, I did it like this. I did it like that. So in fact, I'm actually thinking about creating a more potent group than what we have right now by creating a school group and having everybody sort of share some, like if somebody wants to, create a tutorial on one particular part of how they do their man cave, have the opportunity and that platform to be able to show the entire group exactly how to do that and, be proud of their work and have it there forever. So that's how much I'm appreciating the group interactions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like any bloke doing like a little DIY project, I'm the least handy 100%. Guy out there. Like I would need to follow a YouTube video step by step. So if you have blokes creating that for you, just building that community for you, then you're hands off as well. Like all you need to go is like, oh, anybody done this before? And then you got 20 blokes posting, yeah, here you go. So that's an awesome content flywheel for sure. So
absolutely.
So what made you start the Facebook group? Is it just through personal experience of seeing them pop up, or?
We just thought that was the best platform. We have a Facebook page, but I just felt like I wasn't getting enough traction. And there's a few man cave groups out there, and I'd seen this type of stuff that was coming through, and I thought that it was good, but it does take a lot of care for the group to be nurtured in a way that makes it remain positive and keeps it lively instead of getting, like you said, a little bit nasty. And because it's our full-time job to make sure that that group is perfect, we can actively nurture the people that are in there, making sure that, new topics are coming up. People are, exactly, being nice to each other. But it's not as much as like, don't say that. It's just like, providing so much positivity that it feels weird to be contrasting to that. And I think that that's been our angle of growing that successfully. And that was our idea from the start, and it's come into fruition and succeeded, I guess.
Yeah, cool. You're sort of creating that community on Facebook like you would have in a man cave, which is any man cave you go to, or shed or house, or just with the boys. It's always positive. It's always good vibes. Somebody might get 100%. A little bit bullied, but it's all in good fun as well. So
exactly.
Yeah. So obviously the groups keeps growing and growing and growing. You've got some pretty big influences in some of your recent videos. You just want to touch on that and how you got in touch with those guys.
Yeah, so to be honest, we've I'm pretty proud of the products that we put out there, and the content that we've been putting out there over the years. And a testament to that is when we were working out of our Alexandria office, it was never meant to be a showroom, but we did have a couple of products in there. We would pretty much work out of there with our laptops and our computers, desks, and then it'd just be like a pinball machine, arcade machine, fridge. It'd only be a few products in there. And I reckon about a year ago, or whenever we posted on our socials, we got a follow from Matt Burden on Instagram, and we were buzzing. We were like, oh, that's so sick. Matt Burden followed us, like a bit of a milestone. And an hour later, he actually walked into our showroom, and I'd watched him on TV so many times, and I was a bit starstruck. I was like, oh, hey, mate, how you going? And the boys were saying afterwards, I was so stiff, and I was so awkward when he came in, just trying to make sure that the sale went well, because the last thing that I wanted to do is like blow it. And like he goes, oh, we just, went and saw these guys in Alexandria, and they were just, all over the shop. Sale went really well, but when he left, I was just like, I can't believe we didn't capitalize on anything. Like, he bought a kegerator, and he literally just paid for it on the spot, got it organized to get delivered to him. I'm like, I can't believe we didn't capitalize on that. They're like, you got to call him, like, make something out of this. So I sent him a text, or I called him, and he was like, real polite. And I was just like, mate, like, would it be all right if we were to give you like a discount on what we gave you so far? We'll help you set up the kegerator. It's, it's a little bit hard to set up. If we can just get a little bit of content in exchange. And he's like, yeah, mate, no worries at all. So we pretty much traded a free keg to go over there, shoot a bit of content with him, spend the arvo with him, pour a couple of beers with him, and, make some really great content there. Off the back of that, we've had, more and more people reach out all the time, because obviously it's that really winning paid ad that we used for top of funnel Facebook ads. And, we've got Jerome Luai hitting us up after that. We did a collaboration with him. We also partnered with Drink West for a collaboration there, where we did a Drink West bundle and got to spend the day with Tyson, Nathan, Bam Bam, which was, sick, something that we never really thought that we'd do. So yeah, there's been a heap of good to come from just that first interaction with Matt Burden. And I guess I suggest anybody who thinks that, I don't know if I should do it, like, we never would have met all these people had we not gone and spoken to Matt Burden. So yeah, take the leap if you're wondering about it content wise and influencer wise.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a little bit awkward, bit of imposter syndrome as well. Just want to touch on that, because I'm sure you've gone through it yourself, growing so quickly and having really no e-commerce experience.
Yeah. So what's the question? The question is my experience with the growth and how to manage it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like imposter syndrome. Have you invested in mentors and courses, or like how did you actually learn Shopify and how to scale so quickly?
Yeah, so a lot of it was just a fair bit of, obviously there's a fair bit of luck in everything, but I did invest in marketing agencies early, and that was something that I learned very quickly was a bad idea off the bat, because when you invest in a marketing agency, regardless if you get really good results or really bad results, it's completely out of your control. And if you don't even know the fundamentals of what a good ad account or a good balance sheet or anything looks like, then you're pretty much stuffed, because somebody can just pull the wool over your eyes. So something that was sort of negative that I learned early, I actually partnered with a company called The Entourage, and I'm not going to necessarily talk badly about The Entourage, but it wasn't a good fit for my business and learning what I needed to learn at that time. Parted ways with them, sort of fended for myself for a little bit, learned as much as I could about Facebook ads that I could get online, doing courses, this and that, and I ended up finding Jay Wright from E-commerce Equation, which you might have heard of before, might have been mentioned in a different podcast. But yeah, he was great in teaching us the fundamentals of what we needed to learn in the ad account, how to prepare for a peak season, how to run an effective sale, SMS strategies, email strategies, and you pretty much just slowly build out an arsenal of different strategies throughout a month that you can have an expected revenue KPI for. And if you can just keep stacking those things and sharpening those tools throughout the course of time, you're bound to make more money. And as long as you're offering a good product and service to people, they're going to keep coming back as well. So a lot of that. And I think through gradually building and knowing, I've got this in place, I've got that in place, that's what built my confidence. I also have a great team. So very, very small team, still small. We're only about 5 people with a bunch of people offshore as well that do a fantastic job. But we all believed in each other, and we all wear a lot of hats as well on a day-to-day. And that just enables us to be able to grow very I guess our growth path can be very agile. We can pivot quickly. We can all learn stuff. So I think that having a competent team early gives you the confidence to be able to go, okay, we can probably handle this challenge. We've handled a lot of different things in the past, and we're managing to get through it just fine.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned to me offline just before we started recording that you're actually going on a holiday. Is this your first holiday in a little while? And like, who are you leaving back at home to manage everything?
Yeah, so it will be my first holiday this big probably in my whole life. I've not really taken huge holidays. I mean, towards the back end of the year, everyone shuts off. So it's sort of all right from a business standpoint to take around 10 days in that Christmas period. But other than that, I haven't done that, whilst owning the business. And I did leave it to the two other boys that were here over the last two Christmases. But this time, all three of us are going to be leaving and going to Europe. They're going to be going to Europe for 2 months, and I'll be going to Europe for a month, hopefully Hawaii for a week before. And we've got two new boys who are training up here at the moment. They've been absolutely smashing it. It's just really, really nice to see that the processes and systems that we've put in place for a day-to-day workday has just been easily transferred to these two. And it's not all over the place like we once were. Sorry. So, super satisfying to see that change and that, I guess, professionalism that's now been instilled in the whole team.
Yeah, for sure. And SOPs, I guess, are super important to that. Had you always had those in place, like right from the beginning, or is that something you've had to grind out in the last few months?
No, something that we've definitely had to grind out in the last few months. When you've got three people, come payday, it's pretty manageable. But when you got five people, new office, bit iffy from day to day, but you just got to make sure that, exactly, SOPs are in place, KPIs are in place. Guys, if we can do this, we're all good. And it's been a new experience, sort of refining that, but everything's in place at the moment, and I'm pretty confident that everything's going to be okay when I'm over there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you have any big plans when you get back, or are you sort of using that time to fully like zone out of the business and then come back refreshed?
Not when we get back, but we do have our eyes on moving to the States in, hopefully sooner rather than later. It's something that we do get a lot of people inquiring on our live chat. Can you ship to the States? How does it work? And done our research, and we think that might be a good market for us to move into in the near future.
Yeah, you also mentioned that you're quite into your barbecues and stuff like that, and that goes hand in hand with the man cave. So are you looking at any new products or anything like that? Any insights you can give us there? Or
yeah, so pretty exciting partnership that actually happened to us. Massive pinch me moment for such a small business. When we were originally drop shipping, what we didn't actually know were actually counterfeit Carlton United Brewery products, and we got picked off by their reps for obviously selling counterfeit products. They didn't have that listed. It wasn't in their list of supplied products, and we got slapped on the wrist. We just got a cease and desist, remove all the products. 100%. We thought that they were legal. We then pitched Carlton United Breweries and we said, look, we're an up-and-coming company. We know that there's massive demand for your products. Our customers love your products, and we'd love to be able to be the licensed retailer. And we sort of went back and forth, and from a conversation that was originally, you guys are in trouble, to we back you guys, and we want to partner with you. We've now got the Carlton United Breweries license to create a bunch of new products. So what we've got is a recliner chair with a built-in bar fridge in its side armrest, which is really cool. You can fit 18 bottles in there. So that in itself is really cool. That's pretty much the most unique product, and the rest of them are branded pool tables and other products that are from that. 4 categories of Carlton Draft, Carlton Dry, Great Northern, and Victoria Bitter, which is something we're
that's absolutely about. Crazy. I'm sure you would have shit yourself when that email first come through. You're like, oh my god, this massive company is looking down on me, and you're like, what the hell do I do? But that's awesome that you turn that into a partnership, and I'm sure that's going to absolutely crush it for you. That chair is something that I need when I'm watching the footy. You have to wait quarter time to get up every time, and you're like, I wish I just had a fridge in my chair.
100%. We want to get a few of them in here, chuck a TV, and probably won't leave the office.
That's all right. Get all the boys grinding, never leave work. So that's what you want, and you never
exactly
if you love it. So they'll be happy to stay, I'm sure. Don't go home for the family or whatever. So cool, man. So I guess what's coming up next? So obviously we're coming like almost approaching the mid-year, and then obviously Q4 was a massive time for you guys last year. Have you started that prep yet, or you're looking at it soon? What sort of plans do you have around that this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working with a couple of banks this year to really scale things up. Obviously, our stock's super expensive. I was talking to you originally about how drop shipping was the only option originally because of how expensive each product is. And that just means that we do need to pull a bigger credit line to be able to afford the stock wholesale so that we can maximize that growth. So we're just lining everything up at the moment. We do have a growing demand month on month. So we're just trying to forecast exactly how much we need. But we think that we should be able to get a 50% growth year on year. So the last 12 months, we're looking at 50% growth from the year prior. We've got 2 new boys, new office, new opportunity to sell with new products. So, yeah, everything's looking pretty exciting over the next 12 months.
Yeah, cool. And what's your marketing strategy looking like? Like, are you just going to dominate Facebook ads again, or have you expanded in Google and other areas?
Yeah, so one of the boys that we've brought on has a background in marketing, and that's something that I've taken. Most of my time is taken up doing marketing. So we're just trying to collaborate at the moment to be able to grow our organic channels, both on Instagram and TikTok, more seriously push out, short form reels because they seem to do pretty well for us when we do post them. But we just want to get the algorithm familiarized with our posting frequency, which is going to be a lot more frequent going forward. Definitely going down that avenue. Facebook has got a lot of untapped areas in that as well. We haven't really been maximizing that purely because there hasn't been too much pushback from anybody else in the market, thankfully. But I'm sure that they'll be coming soon enough. So when they do, we're going to be ready. We're pushing out another influencer collaboration and sort of organic creator outreach system that should see us with a bunch of new videos and UGC creatives to be able to push out throughout the next sort of little bit. Hopefully that's out in the next 2 months.
Yeah, cool. And it's such a passionate niche as well. Like if you get one bloke to just even glance at your content, they're gonna be fully into it. It's like whenever I see a golf video, for example, I'm like, I have to watch it. I don't even care what it is, even if it's some bloke shanking it or it's the Masters that are on in a couple of days. Like I'm watching that content. So yeah, any of those DIY blokes, man cave blokes, yeah, they'll be all over that content.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be super interesting for you guys to see your growth. Now, another channel is YouTube. I know you're dabbling in that a little bit at the moment. Is that something that's on your cards?
Yeah, look, right now, like I said, we're focusing quite a lot on content. We're pushing out short form content, but I think the tell of if we're going to be up for the YouTube challenge is how well people respond to the short form and how successfully we can get that content creation machine working. Because if we can do that, then I'm happy to start pushing out longer form content. But right now it's a little bit clunky. But if we can nail that, YouTube's definitely something that we've been looking at for a while. Just haven't had the resources to delve into it.
Yeah, for sure. I think a super cool idea for you guys. I know this is your first podcast, but next time you do a road trip around Australia, if that's a yearly thing that you happen to make or something, just record a half an hour session in those man caves, just having a chat to the bloke and post that on YouTube. I'm sure that will crush it. Blokes will sit there and listen to that all day. So
yeah, for sure. No, that's a good one. Sort of first person camera. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And that'll be so good for short form clips, just showing around a man cave and everything. So yeah, can't wait to see that content come out, by the way. Yeah. We're coming to the end of this podcast, unfortunately. I think I could rant on all day about your business, but do you want to leave the listeners with any sort of advice for up and comers?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, dropshipping is probably the best way to get a proof of demand if you want to do anything. It is a little bit harder now because Facebook ads are getting more and more expensive. It's not as easy as, chuck something in the wall and it'll stick. It's a bit more skill in it. So I think that a lot of people, if they were to start out now, you'd probably be disheartened by it not working straight away. And I think it's just a matter of sharpening your skills in marketing and making sure that you're actually a proficient marketer before going, oh, my product sucks, or I can't do this, it's not going to work. Like, you're going to have to see it out a little bit more on, the upside of that. There's a heap of marketing material out there that you guys have access to that we didn't have, starting out. So heaps of stuff out there, and then leverage, guys. Like, you can use Upwork, you can use Fiverr, you can use all these people from overseas. That price gap between, the affordability of their wages versus ours is only going to get smaller and smaller. So if you're going to do it, you should get in there now and really leverage the ability for have an amazingly skilled person offshore be part of your team, because like I said, that's not going to be there forever. Do your research as well. If you're going to pick a niche, make sure that you do the research, make sure all of the trends are looking positive for that, make sure that the volume is there, and make sure it's something that you actually like, because it's going to be a lot easier to stick it out if you can go to work every day or jump on your laptop every day and sell or offer a service that you like and that you actually respect.
Yeah, I think that's why you've been so successful. Like Man Cave, it's like every bloke's dream pretty much. Sell and talk about man caves all day. So yeah, that's super great for you. And also, like, I've been Facebook advertising for 5 years now, and I just find a new rabbit hole to go down every single day. It's ridiculous. Whether it's creative, whether it's copy, whether it's like brand communication strategies, looking at the websites, like there's always something to do. And yeah,
100%.
There's not an end to the rabbit hole.
It's a forever job. Yeah.
That's right. All right, cool, mate. Well, thanks so much for coming on today. Do you just want to give a quick plug to your socials so everyone?
Yeah, 100%.
With your brand?
For sure. Thank you for having me on, Lockie. So our socials at Instagram is at A Man and His Cave, one word. Facebook, A Man and symbol His Cave. You can find us there. We're not doing much on TikTok, but I'm pretty sure you know how to find us, Man and His Cave, there as well. And if you have any questions or you want to buy any Man Cave products, 029055 8231. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Nailed that. And yeah, don't forget the Facebook group as well. That's something that I'll be going.
Yes, Man Caves Australia. Make sure you jump in there. You guys might be one of our 29,000th people in there. So huge community, and it's only growing. So if you got a Man Cave, definitely chuck it in there.
Cool, mate. Thanks so much for coming on. Really enjoyed this episode, and I'll see everybody on the next one.
Thank you, Lockie. Cheers.
Hey DTC Slingshot listeners, unfortunately today's episode has come to an end. If you did make it this far, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed the episode, so make sure to smash the like, follow, or even subscribe button. Any feedback or engagement really does help us grow. Now, if you do have any questions or insights that you would like to share, then message me on Instagram at Lockie Social Slingshot. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.